Hello everyone, we are here to look at the preview of the KKR vs Sunrisers, the big game for today. Two teams who are yet to open their account in this year's IPL. So, which is the team that's going to break the hoodoo between these two? Before we begin, in case you do like my videos, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. So, we're looking at the KKR vs SRH. It's technically a home game for the Kolkata Knight Riders. The game is at the Sheikh Zayed Stadium in Abu Dhabi. So you're all set to once again see if the team that wins the toss, would they choose to field first or would they choose to bat first. A simple round of lots, you see what has happened so far. Barring one team, every other team has failed to chase down targets. And in a sort of a mini pressure game where you've got both teams who are yet to open their account, coming off games of different stature because KKR literally had a bad game against MI, whereas Sunrisers almost had the game. Halfway stage, you felt that Sunrisers had the game in their pocket, only for them to collapse and implode, which resulted in RCB winning. So when there are two teams of coming to this game with each of their own problems, do you look at still winning the toss and bowling first? I would still feel it's better option for them to bat first, put a total on the board, because when you bat first, even a 150 or a 160 might look a very good score. And at Abu Dhabi, yes, there is a worry of due, but then you can't play for due. The better option is rather play first, put the runs on the board and go ahead. So now that we've seen what could be the toss, let's look at the KKR team first. Looking at the KKR team for today, as Dinesh Karthik, the captain, rightly said, not many changes that they foresee at this point of time, simply because they've had people like Owen Morgan and Cummins who just come out of quarantine and right away went into the ground. So they don't foresee any changes. But I feel there is one change that they might have to do, because somewhere I feel every team today has found out the way Sunil Narayan bats as an opener. The Sunil Narayan experiment worked very well in 2017, but it's been diminishing returns ever since 2018. The teams have more or less found out that bowling fast at him, bowling a shorter length of ball to him, he does succumb to that. So there's no point. Yes, SRS don't have a fast bowler of the likes of James Pattinson or Bolt, but then you would never want to lose a wicket in the first 3 or 4 overs. So rather push Sunil Narayan down to number 7 or number 8, and instead of Nikhil Naik, who was actually a wicket keeper, it would be a good option if KKR can get someone like a Rahul Tripathi. Rahul Tripathi comes in with a fair amount of IPL experience. He's played for the Rising Pune Supergiant as an opener. And Rahul Tripathi and Shubman Gill can form a good combination wherein Shubman Gill can just ease into the 20-over game while Rahul Tripathi can go all or nothing right from the word go. So this way, they form a good opening combination, and then they've got Nitish Rana, Owen Morgan, Dinesh Karthik and Russell to follow. I feel Dinesh Karthik at number 3 or number 4, it's better that Dinesh Karthik comes in at number 5 and Russell at number 6, because these are two solid finishers there. This more or less sort of gives them the balance that they need. And then beyond that, the team has to be very similar to what it was in the past. So you're looking at someone like a Narayan coming in at number 7, Pat Cummins at number 8, Kuldeep Yadav at number 9. Shivam Mavi had a wonderful game the last time that they played. In fact, Mavi was unfortunate again. He had gone through injuries last year. For him to come back, pick up those 3 wickets, I think he's going to be a threat in terms of how they counter the likes of Warner and Bairstow. If he can match up with his pace and length, and at the same time, I'm looking at KKR to unleash Sunil Narayan in the power play. The deliveries that he'll bowl will obviously go away from David Warner, induce Warner into the shot. You can have a fall shot, and if Warner goes off, then that itself is a huge bonus for KKR. And then at number 11, you've got Sandeep Warrior. More or less, it's going to be the similar side. The one change that why I foresee, I feel, is that it's always better to have a established opener there, or someone who's not been found out by the opposition. So that way, this is what I feel is going to be KKR's 11. For KKR, the key stats, if you look at it, Sunil Narayan and Kuldeep Yadav, they've got 10 wickets apiece against SRS. So it's a good thing to have both of them. Kuldeep Yadav really needs a good game. Last game, again, he was leaking runs to the tune of 9.5 and 10 runs and over. Would be great to see him come back into the wickets. He like to bowl against SRH. The middle order is especially brittle. So he'd like to bowl against SRH, get in some amount of confidence. Narayan has to go in the power plays. Yadav coming in during the middle overs to strangulate the opposition. The team is set. Got to see how they get down there and do their business, and hope to see that if they can do well. And now we are here to look at the Sunrisers Hyderabad, a team that is top heavy. You had the team almost pocketing the game versus RCB. Had one of Johnny Bairstow or Manish Pandey stayed, possibly they would have gone on to win that game with even an over to spare. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. So where were the issues? I think the brittle middle order got exposed. Bairstow, Warner, Manish Pandey, but beyond that, there's a problem there. And with Mitchell Marsh injured in that game, you obviously didn't have that one batsman. So there's a straightaway replacement that they need. They need to replace Mitchell Marsh, but whom do they go with? I think at this point of time, there's not much of clarity on Williamson's fitness. They'll have to go for a Mohammad Nabi. Nabi is a finger spinner. He'll be of great use there because the SRH can bring in Nabi when Morgan comes on to play, or if Sunil Narayan is going to bat up the order, then you've got Nabi coming in straight away there. He takes the ball away. Narayan does play spin well, but Nabi is a slightly different off spinner. He's not a traditional off spinner. He does give it a lot more air, and he can get in some purchase. And also, mind you, Nabi comes in with a lot of game time that he's had in the CPL. He's batted well there, he's bowled well there. So that is a straightaway replacement that they'll have to do instead of Mitchell Marsh, get Mohammad Nabi there. Otherwise, if you see, it's about the balance that they create. Warner and Bairstow at number 1 and number 2. One of them will have to play out the 20 overs or at least 15 overs. Manish Pandey coming in at number 3. Mohammad Nabi at number 4. It's then going to be Priyam Garg at number 5 and Vijay Shankar at number 6. That is where there's a bit of uncertainty purely because there's lack of experience, lack of game awareness. Vijay Shankar needs to up his game there. At number 7, number 8, number 9, number 10, number 11, the places of predominance sorted. You've got Bhuvneshwar Kumar and Sandeep Sharma handling the pace bowling attack. T. Natarajan bowled a very good spell last time. He got the crucial wicket of Kohli, if I'm not wrong. So you've got these three bowlers. Natarajan giving it a left arm angle as well. Rashid Khan again, a very critical bowler. Didn't have a good game last time. I somewhere feel he should be favouring Abu Dhabi there. The ball is a bit slow. The ground is not as large as Dubai, but nevertheless, you'll have to wait and watch how he goes about there. So more or less, the team is set in. It's about how they deliver there, and what's going to be important is Warner, because Warner has more than 500 runs versus KKR. So he's going to be the bulwark of this lineup, especially for today. Warner versus Narayan is going to be a good contest. Same way, I'm eagerly waiting forward to see how Warner tackles Shivam Mavi. He's got his own teammate there, Pat Cummins, coming in as well. So it's going to be a good contest. Between Warner and Bairstow, one of them has to go ahead and play the entire long game. One thing that I'll want to see from both the captains is if they win the toss, do they still field first or do they bat first? It's a slightly high pressure game purely because someone wins this, they're out of the zero, they're out of the wooden spoon spot. So that's where both teams will be eagerly waiting to score their first points. A bit desperate, or you can even call it they're slightly worried if they don't then it's a bad shape. It's a long tournament, but nevertheless you're looking at it's a slightly a game wherein you can really say that you win the toss, you bat first, you score a 150, 160. If I was Warner, I would say win the toss, bat first, because you know for a fact that your team defends totals. For KKR, with the powerhouse of Russell, Morgan, Dinesh Karthik, I think if they can score 170, 185 batting first, then they definitely can back up with their bowlers. They can definitely say that we're going to restrict them. All in all, I'm hoping for a better game. I don't want to say this, but we've not had great games in the last 3 days. Hoping to see a thriller. I don't want to jinx it. Let's see how it goes. May the best team win.